So you watched the show called Fire Breather? The fuck is this?
This is where I hand you your meat. All nice and on a slab.
What?
But I pretty much promised my mom I wouldn't fight.
Is this an old show or like a new awful show? This is pretty epic. I bet I would have absolutely loved this if I was a child. But I feel like this definitely came out probably in like the late 2010s or something, because they did not have it looking this good back when I was a kid. We had Beast Wars and shit. It's in the same universe as Invincible. What? Fire Breather is in the same universe as Invincible? Huh. That's cool, I guess. This came out around the same time as Symbiotic Titan. Never watched that show. The only thing I know about that show is that clip Gooners float around occasionally of the, butt shake it, booty quake it, or whatever. Where she does like a stripper dance routine. That's the only thing I know about that. Remember Chaotic, the card game show? It's making a comeback. Is it Chaotix? I never really liked it. But I miss that era of just everything being like a card game. Holy nostalgia, yeah. Subject of Nickelodeon cartoons, opinion on Ren and Stimpy. Never watched it growing up, and the creator's a fucking pedophile, so never plan on watching it or anything. But it's not like a show I grew up watching. I remember Mr. Meaty. I didn't find it as weird as everyone else did. That's news to me. What about Ren and Stimpy guy? You guys don't remember? Well, I guess maybe if you haven't been around for a while. We watched a whole documentary on that guy. The, John Kricfalusi? You don't remember this? The guy's a terrible fucking person. This guy is evil. Don't think he was a pedo, just creep and horrible to work with? Brother, what? I mean, you can just read the screen, too, for just some cliff notes. A YouTuber made, like, a really great video breakdown on all of the John Kricfalusi shit. He 100% was. Was it Blame It on Jorge? Maybe it was Blame It on Jorge that made the really good video on Kricfalusi. You remember the show Butt Ugly Martians? I do remember Butt Ugly Martians. I remember when that show fucking premiered. What about 16? Still have the intro song in my playlist. 16. No, what the fuck is that? This doesn't even look familiar. This looks like a Flash animation. I have never seen a single second of that show. I've never even heard of that. What was that on? The best Canada had to offer in 06. Wait, was this really on Cartoon Network? I don't remember it at all. Even the shows I didn't watch, I still remember, like, seeing bumpers for and still hearing about. I've never heard of this. It was a Canadian show. Was it, like, exclusive to just Canada? No, US had it too. Did you see that they're taking the Annabelle doll on the road? Can't say I saw that. That's cute, though, I guess. I'm assuming for Conjuring promo. My Life as a Teenage Robot. Of course I remember that. I remember that show well. What about My Baby's a Vampire? My Babysitter's a Vampire. What the fuck are these shows, man? Was this also Cartoon Network? I've never heard of this. It was a movie. Yeah. I was really only watching animations. I wasn't watching a whole lot of those, like, Cartoon Network live-action movies. Camp Lazlo. Yeah, I liked Camp Lazlo. Anyone ever watch Grossology? Sounds like one of those Nickelodeon live-action shows. My Gym Partner is a Monkey. Yep, I remember that one. I actually remember when that show premiered, because on its premiere, I had just recently got into fantasy football. I was in middle school. I thought fantasy football was the coolest thing ever, so we had our draft coming up, and we were watching My Gym Partner is a Monkey. It was a fine show. It was okay. I watched a little Ben 10, but that was a little... I wasn't like the biggest fan. Yeah, Code Lyoko I liked. No, I never got into Gumball. That was after me. And I don't remember Kick Buttowski. What about Zaboomafoo? Never got too deep into Zaboomafoo, but yeah, Jackie Chan Adventures slapped. Yeah, OG Toonami, of course. Cubix was okay. It wasn't great. The only thing Cubix had going for it is it came on right before Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'd always end up catching a little bit of Cubix. No, I never really liked American Dragon, Jake Long. Ever watch Astro Boy 2003? A little bit, but what I really liked from Astro Boy growing up was the PS2 game. I thought this game was so good. Nope, not this one. I had so much fun with this game. And what's crazy is it used like the Superman 64 rings, yet somehow made it work. Yeah, Codename Kids Next Door, of course, another classic. I liked Metabots. Metabots was always so slept on. I had a couple of Metabots, like, toys. No, I never watched Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I know it, though. I remember it. You remember the Hot Wheels movie from way back? Pretty sure it released in, like, '01 or something. Acceleracers is what you're thinking of, I think. Favorite show as a kid was Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think it's just the perfect cartoon. Legitimately, I just think it is, like, the perfect cartoon. And it's really cool these days, because a lot of people have, like, warmed up to just how ahead of its time this was. Like, I still see people talk about this show pretty often, which is nice. Because when I was growing up, it wasn't talked about a lot around me, that is. Like, in school or anything, so I was always under the impression it might not have been that popular, but I'm happy to see that it is, and it was. It truly is just a special show. It's aged so well, too. What year do you think you stopped tuning into Cartoon Network, Disney, and Nick? It would have been when I moved back to Tampa, so 06. Because I was born in Tampa, we left to Orlando for 10 years, and then came back in 06. So that would have been right around the time I stopped watching Cartoon Network, Nick, and Disney all that often. I still tuned in, like Danny Phantom, like the finale I tuned into, Avatar finale, all that. That was when I was still in Tampa. But it would have been around that time. He's talking about Hot Wheels Highway 35 World Race. Shit was a banger, 2003, I believe. Highway 35 World Race. I really thought this was Acceleracers. But then I think we also went down this rabbit hole not too long ago either. Did you ever get scared when Adult Swim would come on? No, there's never anything scary on Adult Swim. At least not immediately. Were you into Robot Chicken? Used to love Robot Chicken. Used to even upload Robot Chicken videos onto my original YouTube channel that I'd steal from that video site. I thought Robot Chicken was great. Yeah, Happy Tree Friends I thought was pretty cool. I used to be really afraid of blood, though, when I was a kid. Or at least there was a period of time where I was. So Happy Tree Friends was, like, a little spooky for me. But then I warmed up to it and really liked it. Yep, used to love Invader Zim. Still really like Invader Zim. I think that's another really cool show. A very unique one.